Rav Moshe Feinstein was headed out to a very important meeting of the Moetzes Gedolei HaTorah. And the plan was that as soon as he finishes Mincha in the yeshiva, the car's going to be waiting for him, and he's going to head out quickly into the car to be able to get to the meeting at Aguda headquarters. And that's exactly what took place. He's headed out after Mincha, the entourage is following him, and as he's getting into the car, there was a needy fellow in the street who came over to him and asked him for money. And Rav Moshe took out money and he handed it to him. But before the door closed, the fellow started talking to Rav Moshe. And he began conversation, telling Rav Moshe the things that are going on in his life, telling him his problems. And Rav Moshe was patiently listening, but the time was ticking. And a minute went by, and 2 minutes, and 3 minutes. And people started saying and started trying to motion to the fellow that, Rav Moshe has to go. He has to get to this meeting. But Rav Moshe pushed them all away. He said, no, let him talk. And finally, after 10 minutes of Rav Moshe listening to him, he ended up excusing himself and he went to the meeting. And the Talmidim asked him, why didn't you just excuse yourself earlier? You have to get to this meeting. This is so important. And Rav Moshe said, listen, he said, you think that my mitzvah of tzedakah just ends by giving money? No, there's so much more than that. What this fellow really needed was somebody to listen to him. What this fellow really wanted was to know that I actually care about him and that I would take out the time to be able to listen to him, to be able to hear out his problems. And that is how I was providing him with my tzedakah. Rav Moshe Feinstein was able to look deeper and to see what this individual really needed and to provide that for him. The pasuk in Parshas Re'eh tells us that when it comes to a needy individual, that you should open your hand to him, and to grant him that which he is lacking. And Rashi points out that this is talking about even a wealthy individual who had so much and now lost his money. You have to provide for that person even a horse to ride on and a slave to run ahead of him to take care of his needs. And Rav Wolbe points out, most people would look at this Rashi and say, this is kind of interesting. This fellow was so wealthy. He was living the good life. And now he lost some of that money. Okay, so now let him be like everybody else. Now I have to provide him with this slave to run ahead of him to take care of his needs like he used to have? No, let him be like everybody else who doesn't have that. And Rav Wolbe says, no. The pasuk is telling you something very important. That to that individual, what he got used to and now he lost it causes him pain. And it's our job as members of Klal Yisrael to take care of him and to provide him that which he is lacking. He elaborates that this concept is true when it comes to everybody in all of our relationships. We have to provide them asher yechsar lo, that which they are lacking. And everybody is missing something else. To one individual, there might be a medical need that they need something that they need help with. To another individual, it might be advice that they don't know how to ask, but they really are in need of something. To somebody else, it might be that they're looking for something spiritually, but don't know how to find it. Everybody has asher yechsar lo, that which they are lacking. And it's our job in all of our relationships to look deeper into every single person, just like Rav Moshe, and to see what they're truly lacking and try to provide them with that.